Hello everyone, my name is Chef Rock Harper of Rock Solid Creative Food Group and Queen Mother's Restaurant in Arlington, Virginia. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I am thrilled to be making jambalaya here with AARP, and I hope that we have a bunch of fun. Just to give you a little bit of background on me, a couple of you may know me from this little unknown show called Hell's Kitchen on Fox. That's right, I was season 3's winner of Hell's Kitchen on Fox with Mr. Gordon Ramsay himself. He's my guy, I love him. And that was 2007, season 3. That thrust me onto the national stage and even the world stage, and it's been a roller coaster ride ever since. I'm happy to be back with AARP. I've been in Wichita several times, and we wanted to spice things up and do this virtual cooking. Everybody's Zoom ready, we Skype ready, so we should have a great experience. This is recorded, obviously, but I'm going to be answering questions. I'm going to be live with you all as this is going on. I hope you're having fun. I have been in cooking for about 20 years or so, and I've cooked all over the country. My biggest bulk of my experience came at a lovely restaurant called B. Smith's. If you all remember B. Smith, who's now passed on, was a fashion model, and she went on to become a lifestyle maven. And I was her executive chef at B. Smith's in Union Station for many, many years, where I cooked Southern Creole and Cajun food. And one of our signature dishes was jambalaya, which we'll be cooking today. All right, before we get into the kitchen, let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to be making. Jambalaya. Ooh, spice, rice, and tomato, okay? This is a big, bold, flavorful dish. You can make it in one pot. We will make it in one pot so it's easy to clean up after. But we're gonna put a bunch of flavors, right? So there are some components that you have to have in jambalaya. First of all, it's gotta be red. So we're gonna put some tomatoes in there, okay? Definitely, you should have traditionally some sort of pork meat in there. Maybe a ham or tasso ham. We used to make with ours in B. Smith's. We're going to use andouille sausage today. I've seen all sorts of meat. Those are really traditional for my vegetarian and vegans. You can use a plant-based sausage for this. Also chicken. You'll see chicken in jambalaya. We're going to use some chicken thighs. Nice amount of flavor. And then seafood. Shrimp usually is what you'll see, and that's what we're going to use here today. A nice long grain rice, some more bold spice, and chicken stock. Again, I've made jambalaya vegetarian and vegan several times, so you can easily swap out vegetable stock and any other protein, or no protein at all, just a bunch more veg in there. So we're gonna get in the kitchen and start cooking. All right, welcome to the kitchen, folks. We're gonna be making jambalaya. I'm gonna start by listing all of the ingredients. Don't worry, we're gonna have graphics and the ingredients will be displayed below. You should have a recipe by now, but the ingredients will be displayed at the end of the video, so don't fret. First up, we have 24 medium peeled and deveined shrimp, about a half a pound. I'm gonna chop those and do that in a second, okay? Then we have a half a pound of boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm gonna dice those and toss them with this wonderful Cajun seasoning, okay? Cajun seasoning. I use Wanda's Cooking, but you can make your own or buy any out of the store. We have a quarter cup of olive oil, right? Quarter cup of olive oil. Extra virgin is what I have here. We have half a pound of andouille sausage. You can get this at your butcher, grocery store, and if you don't have that, you can use any other spicy sausage. Okay, onions, half a cup of chopped onions. I'm going to chop this up in a moment. Green bell peppers, half a cup of that. And then we're going to have a half a cup of celery, okay? Celery. All right, now that is called, those three together are what they call in New Orleans or Louisiana or any cooking in that is Cajun Creole, the Holy Trinity, all right? Celery, peppers, and onions, okay? And then we have some salt. I have a little gray Celtic salt here, a little gray salt, okay? You can use kosher or sea, or you can use any salt you like. Fresh pepper, that's what's in this bad boy right here. All right. Garlic, we're gonna chop up a couple tablespoons of garlic, half a cup of chopped tomatoes. I just bought some diced tomatoes from the grocery store. Okay, 3 bay leaves. 3 bay leaves, nothing fancy about that. Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons. Can you say Worcestershire sauce 12 times? I don't know. 2 teaspoons of hot sauce. 1 cup of long grain rice. Any rice will do, long grain, jasmine, basmati, just regular old plain long grain. Make sure you read the instructions on how much liquid, if you're using a different rice, right? Make sure your chicken stock or whatever liquid you use matches the appropriate cooking. Some of them require 2 liquid to 1 part rice. So jasmine is about, 1.5 to 1 cup rice, 1.5 cup liquid. So make sure you adjust your liquids if you do change around your rice. This is just plain old long grain rice. And I have 3.5 cups of chicken stock. And we have some green onions here that we're gonna dice up. Okay, let's get to prepping. I got these with the shell on, these shrimp. You can clearly get yours, they sell them frozen, or you can get them peeled and deveined already. I like to keep the shells for stock, to make a nice little shrimp stock, or if you want to flavor something up with a little shrimp flavor, shells is where it's at. So that's why I got that. All right, put these over here. Now, if you want, you can get different types of shrimp. All shrimp are not created equal, obviously. I forget where these are from, but shrimp, much of our shrimp comes from Asia. Those are like black tigers, which are all right. They'll do. If you want something really good, get it out of the Gulf, right? If you have shrimp wherever you are, wherever you're watching this from, get it locally. If they're good shrimp, I imagine they are. I'm in the mid-Atlantic, DC area. We don't really have shrimp. But Carolina, sometimes we can get shrimp from Carolina, which are really good. All right, so we're gonna do, we peeled them, and we're gonna devein. It's not a vein, but there's no vein. Cool. It's actually the right. And then we're gonna chop them up. I like to leave mine whole sometimes. It's up to you how many people you're serving. You can leave them whole after you devein them. Some people don't devein them. Again, that's up to you as well. But I like to get that out of there. All right, now after that, we're just gonna cut them a couple times, nothing too fancy, right? Put them right in there. I'm gonna use the same board. Don't be scared of the mess you've made. It just came out of the shrimp you're about to eat. Don't be scared. It's just shrimp. There we go. Boom. And we're done. And we're going to cut our sausage. Okay, now I left it on the board. Okay, take our andouille sausage. I'm just going to cut it just like this. All right, nice little 1/2 inch slices. We're going to slice our sausage. Nice 1/2 inch slices, rounds. Some people dice it. I like to keep it nice and round. Nice and meaty. Okay. We're going to set this to the side. With the shrimp, while we're waiting, I'm going to put our Cajun seasoning in there, in our shrimp. We're just going to mix that up a little bit. Let that sit. Okay, off to the side. All right. I'm going to wash my hands really quick. Next, we're going to cut up our chicken. Okay, so I got a few thighs here. So, just going to give them some nice little dices. I like to use dark meat chicken in this recipe. Thighs, more flavor. And I think, you know, we're going to cook this for quite some time in one pot. Dark meat is going to hold up and not dry out. You are certainly welcome to use breast if you like. But note that the preference here is for the dark meat. Some people don't like it. The first rule of cooking is make sure it tastes good and make sure you like it. Okay. All right, boom, there we go. Put that over there. Chicken here. Take this out of here. Hand wash one more time. Okay, now we'll cut up our Trinity. Let's move this up here. And cut up the rest of our ingredients, as a matter of fact, okay? So, let's do that. All right, now, okay, so celery. Got this guy up right there. We save this for stock. I'm going to save this for chicken stock. Sometimes I like to take the leaves and use them as a garnish. People throw them away, but try to be waste free and save them for, put that in my little prep bucket down there, for anything you like. But came out of the earth, there's a good use for it. Okay, we're just going to cut this into a nice small dice. All right. Nice and even. Okay. Let's do this here. And again. Now what we're making here is Holy Trinity. It's a flavoring additive, aromatics, peppers, green onions, celery. If you don't use it, It's not official jambalaya. Okay, cut this in half. Yes, green peppers. Not red. You could use red if you got red in there, but don't tell anybody that Chef Rock said it was okay. I don't want you to lose your New Orleans card or your Cajun card, if you even have one. All right, so we're gonna dice this. Nice small dice. Okay. And we're gonna go that way right there. And dice that guy like that. Okay, and probably about half of this pepper, maybe a little more. Let's put this. I like to get rid of this white part because it can add a little bit of bitterness to the dish, the pith. So we want to yank that on out of there, not too much. Easy, cowboy. Okay. Now you want equal parts of each of these. Have a little more, it won't hurt anything. But you don't want to mess up the balance of flavors. All right, so we have our trinity there, okay? And then lastly, to chop, is our garlic. Take a couple cloves, maybe 3. And while that garlic is chopping, I'm gonna turn our pot on, just to get it warm. And I'm using a cast iron skillet, sort of a Dutch oven here. You can use any large pot. Cast iron is my personal all-time favorite, especially the enameled ones. Gonna get good heat retention, get a nice sear on all of our ingredients. And it's pretty, it looks good. Okay, we're gonna take our garlic, all right? If you see, I cut the end off. And we're gonna take our knife and carefully, right? Don't wanna turn the knife up this way, obviously, but carefully put your knife down on it. And then just press down. It does 2 things. It's gonna make it easier for us to cut, but also the skin comes off easy. Voila. Okay, one more time. You don't have to do all of that, right? Put it down on there, lean on it. Boom, done. Skin off. Now, you want to chop this garlic up kind of small. You don't have to mince it. You can if you like, but you don't want it to be too big. You want the flavor to distribute evenly. Yeah, I like garlic personally, so it doesn't really matter to me personally, but as a chef, and I'm guessing you're not making this whole pot of jambalaya for yourself, which would be fine if you did. You want to be considerate of other people's desires. And plus, big old chunks of garlic just It'll throw everything off. So cut it small. So we're just gonna go in here. Keep going through it. Some of you all have garlic presses. Those are totally fine as well. Save you a lot of time. I wouldn't recommend using that chopped garlic in a can or a jar. It's easy and convenient, but many times it's not real garlic. If you just look at the label, it's like some of them, garlic flavored bits. Bits of what? I don't know. But if that's what you got, I'm a realist, and if that's what you can use, get it and use it, because it'll taste like garlic, I suppose. But read the label next time. See what's in there and report back in there. If anybody has it in their kitchen, tell me what's on it. Put the label in the comments. All right. So we got our garlic there, and we're going to start cooking in a moment, okay? We're going to heat our oil, olive oil. We're going to add our sausage and begin to brown it, okay? It's our ½ pound andouille sausage. You want about medium-high heat on this. You can go a little high to start. And if it gets too brown too quick, we can always turn it down. Please keep in mind that at the end of the video, we will have the recipe along with all the listed ingredients and the instructions. So don't worry, we got you. Okay. Now what we're looking for in this part, we just want to get some color on the sausage, right? We're going to start to brown those spices and really bring out that flavor of the paprika. Okay, I'm going to cover this a little bit. The oil is fighting back. Okay, paprika, the cayenne, those herbs, spices. We're going to brown that and really bring that out, okay? All right. Brother, I don't like getting popped in the face with oil. Too many times in my career. Never feels good. Never get used to it. All right. We're going to put that there. Okay. Oh, that smells good. That smells good. If that smells good in your kitchen, if y'all are cooking together, please let us know about it. Okay. All right, at this point, we're kind of brown. We're going to put in our Trinity. And chicken, all in. Okay, and give that a stir. Now I'm going to leave the lid off, because I'm not scared of burning myself at this point. Let that cook. Don't be afraid of high heat at this point. It's going to be hard to burn. Don't be afraid. It's easy going. So now we're building layers of flavor right now, right? So we started with the oil and the sausage, and we're going in with the chicken and the Trinity. So we're caramelizing and we're adding different layers on top of layers, and then we're just going to finish it all, right? So be patient with the process. Is the one thing I love about one pot cooking, is that you can just build layers in one pot. Makes it easy for cleanup. Okay, now I'm on high heat now. I heard the simmering. right? We don't want this to simmer. We want this to sear, to really saute, to bring out some of that browning, all right? So if you hear it starting to simmer and bubble, crank the heat up if you can. We want browning. Now, if you got a really powerful stove and it's too hot, and it's maybe smoking on a borderline of burning, turn it down. Pull it off the stove a little bit. Don't be scared, okay? All right, good, looking good. So we're gonna cook this for a few minutes. Soft, brown, maybe about 10 minutes or so in total. It's nice and soft and everything is brown. I'm just stirring this to make sure we got even distribution, but let it go. See, I love these pans because they give you the cast iron, right? Heavy, able to sear, holds heat, but also it's not gonna stick as much, right? We do want a little bit of browning on this because that's where we know that those flavors are really starting to come out, okay? All right, now, rice. We're gonna put our rice in. I'm gonna toast that just a little bit. We're gonna add our garlic as well. I think I skipped a step. Don't worry, I messed up. Maybe I'll change it over in the recipe. Maybe you'll hear this audio, maybe you won't. But we're gonna toast that rice and that garlic. Turn this heat down just a little bit. Oh, it smells really good. It's nice and fragrant. Make sure you're try to use a wooden spoon or something like this when the rice gets in there. When stirring rice, I try not to use a metal spoon or anything that'll cut it, right? Because you can actually cut the rice. Try to use a wooden spoon. It's almost like when you're cooking risotto, okay? Now, we're gonna add our chicken broth. And everything else. Bay leaf. Tomatoes. Worcestershire. Hot sauce. I'm going to put in some salt. It's about a teaspoon of salt. And some fresh cracked pepper. You can use ground pepper here if you like. The stuff that you bought already. But I highly recommend fresh black pepper. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring this to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer for about 15 minutes. Then after that, we're gonna put our shrimp in there, right? So if we put the shrimp in now, what's gonna happen? Tough, rubbery, overcooked shrimp. We don't want that, right? So that's why we're gonna release all of that Cajun flavor in there. You can put some Cajun seasoning in here now if you like it kind of extra spicy, but I'm gonna put it at the end, okay? With the shrimp, it's gonna release all that flavor. We're just gonna let it sit. We're gonna let it carry over cook, okay, for about 10 minutes. But while we wait for that, we're gonna cut up some of these green onions. right? Because this is going to be our garnish. Maybe I should do this on camera. I'll wait. So you can see it. All right. Okay. Now I'm on high heat right now. We're just waiting for it to come to a boil. Then we're going to reduce it to a simmer for about 15 minutes. All we want to do is make sure all of that liquid is absorbed into the rice. All the liquid is gone. Our rice is nice and fluffy. All right. We're not even going to stir it that much, but just a little bit. There we go. Scrape the bottom a little bit just to make sure we got those good bits off the bottom. Let's get all of that in there, son. Oh, it smells really good. Okay. So we got a nice little boil going. Let's turn that down. Low. We want a nice little simmer. And we're going to check that again in about 12 minutes. All right. How about we do this? Let's move this. And while that's going, we can slice up some scallion. This is going to be our garnish. The green part, I like the white part. Again, I told you earlier that I love onion. So if you love onion, you want to put the white part on top, go for it. I try not to do too much white, but just a little bit. Light green, all right? There we go. Okay. So we got a scallion here. Now, while that's cooking, I'm going to go ahead and clean. As we're cooking it, we don't need to stir it, but we can take a peek to see if it's rolling too hard or it's not simmering enough. That's a nice simmer, right? We don't want it going too hard. The liquid will evaporate too quickly, and the rice will be undercooked. If we go too low, it won't cook fast enough. So, nice little simmer. I'm gonna touch it down just a little bit. Okay, some time has passed. Let's see what we got cooking here. Oh yeah. Oh, that smells incredible. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't wait to eat this. All right, so what we're gonna do is turn the fire off. The water has been absorbed. We're gonna put our shrimp that's been just hanging out in that Cajun Creole seasoning for our last little burst of flavor, okay? Let's see, we'll put that right there on the knife. Nice. All right, come into focus, okay? It's been hanging out nice. We're gonna put that right in there. Okay. Then just gonna stir that in a little bit. Those tomatoes, oh, that smells incredible. Now, this might be a little counterintuitive for some of you all, but what we're gonna do, we're just gonna let that hang out for 10 more minutes. What we don't wanna do is overcook the shrimp. Shrimp are very delicate, especially if you use a nice domestic shrimp. It's very delicate, pink or white. So you don't want to overcook it. You don't want to boil the shrimp, right? So we're going to let that sit for 10 minutes or so. And by the time that residual heat cooks it, they're going to be perfectly juicy and the dish is going to be ready. We can taste it. I think we're about done. Fire off. Ooh, that looks good, my friends. Green onions. I'll go right in. Oh my goodness. You know it's good when you start salivating. All right, got my serving spoon here. Just gonna give that a nice little stir. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good. That's good. We're gonna stir that up. And then we're gonna plate. Okay? Oh yeah. That's good eating there. This is a meal. It should be illegal to make food this good. All of that flavor is bursting. I keep putting more spoonfuls on. Slow down, Rock. Wow. And this is enough to feed, I don't know, me, 4, 6, 8 people, right? You serve this with some veg, maybe a little bread on the side, some hibiscus tea. This is a meal. And it's going to be even better when it's leftovers the next day. Okay, there we are. Cajun, jambalaya, andouille sausage, chicken, shrimp. Well done for everybody that completed. I look forward to speaking with you.